we want to call attention to one big stock mover that is moving quite a lot on this Monday, and that is, of course, Twitter, after that news of an SEC filing showing Elon Musk taking a massive 9% stake in the company. You can see shares of Twitter up 25%. You recall that he tweeted in March about his woes with Twitter, asking if, quote, a new platform is needed. Now, of course, Sakiko, this shows that he is taking action on some of those thoughts. What do you think?
Yeah, Brian, we're talking about 73.5 million shares. And right now, it's important to note that filing suggests this is a passive investment. But as we know, with Elon Musk, this could just be the beginning. And we heard from Wedbush's Dan Ives saying that this could very quickly turn into a more aggressive ownership role. You mentioned this before. Elon Musk has made no secret of the fact that he doesn't believe that Twitter is a neutral platform. You pointed to that tweet, but he's been tweeting about this for weeks now. There's another tweet that he put out where he said, do you believe, or he said, free speech is essential to a functioning democracy. Do you believe Twitter rigorously adheres to this principle? That was a Twitter poll. And obviously his followers saying, no, that's not the case. He has one of the largest followings, Brian, on the platform. So he's got a voice already, but we've got to also mention that he has a deal with the SEC that essentially says that his tweets need to be vetted, especially those that are specifically tied to Tesla. So he's got a bit of a bone to pick. Now he's got a stake in the company. The question is, will he become an active investor, and will he try to take a bigger stake, to take a bigger role in shifting the platform?
Yeah, again, not the case necessarily right now, but again, that 13G filing, very interesting because that stake was taken in March 14th was when he actually took the position. He tweeted about it, suggesting maybe he would do something like that about 11 days after the fact. And we've seen some social media reaction. One person saying, outstanding, he's securing the raw materials, which drive Tesla's share price. So I guess this could be a supply chain move in some respects. But what's also interesting is we're seeing another stock that's also moving. This is shares of DWAC. This is the SPAC that was linked to former President Trump. Obviously, he had his own qualms with Twitter as well after being booted from the platform. Shares of that social media venture are dipping after Reuters reported that the Truth Social app, as it's called, lost two key executives behind the project. You can see shares of that SPAC down 11%. But let's stick with the theme of exactly what's going on with Twitter. Obviously, that's just the major stock mover today. Let's bring in Rohit Kulkarni, MKM Partners senior analyst who watches the stock very closely. Rohit, it's great to chat with you. You were hearing my discussion with Akiko just now about kind of what is the game plan for Elon Musk. We know that this is a passive stake, but the simple question here today is whether or not you feel that could become at some point an active stake.
Look, hey, thanks for having me. And I think no matter what, how we cut it, Musk is a very active Twitter user. He sees value on the platform. He's one of the top 5 as far as having followers on the platform is concerned. He tweets a lot. He's speaking with his money by saying that Twitter is an undervalued platform. So he sees value in the service. The platform is undervalued, and he sees that there are things that they can do to improve the service, free speech, content moderation, reducing misinformation, so on and so forth. So I think he's definitely hinting at more active role in helping Twitter turn around. We shall see how that manifests. I feel as a first step, if they haven't had that meeting already, Musk should get on the phone with the CEO of Twitter right away.
And I'm sure that's, if it hasn't happened already, that will happen. Rohi, when you look at the stock reaction of Twitter today, that certainly points to the fact that investors believe, to your point, that this stock has underperformed, that the value has not been fully unlocked yet. We've heard from the company with these ambitious goals saying they want to reach 15 million daily active users by 2023. Do they need somebody like Elon Musk to get to that point?
I think they need somebody to have a clear execution strategy, and just to ensure that all the troops are aligned towards executing that strategy. They laid out a very clear strategy last year, but if you ask somebody on the street, somebody like myself, even with a buy rating, very few people believe that they can get to those long-term goals. Street consensus numbers are still very clearly below what Twitter has indicated that they could reach by end of 23. So what does this mean? People think that it is hard for Twitter to achieve their long-term goals, although the asset is clearly valuable. So I think as somebody like Musk may probably just reinvigorate the troops and get them walking in the right direction.
Rohit, I'll say that, in the first few hours of kind of digesting this news, it seems like some people may be putting the cart ahead of the horse here because, again, it's not necessarily clear how much Elon is going to want to be active in the management of Twitter. Let's say, for example, he does remain as a passive holder, but nothing beyond that. Does that mean that a 25% stock pop today is an overreaction?
Hard to speculate on top of speculations. What I would say is clearly he didn't need to get to a 9.2% stake. The CEO, founder of Twitter, has less than 3% stake. The largest holder has less than 8% stake. So he's clearly making a big statement by approaching a 10% stake, and probably this is the first step towards more active management. It is just a semantic change that he would need to make, and probably we would learn more about it over the next few weeks to come. If this turns out to be a purely passive stake, still that is a tremendous pat on the back on Twitter with regards to how undervalued the platform is and how simple changes could make it much more valuable, and Musk believes that.
What in your mind is the change that needs to be made here? I mean, Elon Musk aside, the reality is Twitter has toyed with a number of different features. They just haven't been really sticky. What do you think needs to change?
In terms of what they need to do from a monetization standpoint, I feel direct response advertising, performance marketing is where large internet platforms have made money. Twitter is lagging behind. Twitter has clearly indicated that they can get there, but so far we haven't seen clear progress along those lines. So I think that's where Twitter needs to do more, and I feel that's where they can unlock more value.